Good morning. I am unmuted, I think. And welcome. I'm Mary Winters. I'm a gerontologist and the owner of About Senior Solutions, and you are watching Visionary Aging. Thank you so much for joining. I just think it's so important to empower you and to have your plan in place and know what exactly what you want. We plan for weddings, we plan for vacations. We need to plan for the life that we want to live for a long time. And so we have some great guests. We have our segment host, Steve McCullough on, who will ask a caregiver question. And we have our wonderful Melinda Hughes, who will answer your fitness and nutrition questions. We have Ginny Delgado from About Senior Solutions, who will talk about some of the perks, literally and figuratively, that we're offering you for free. And we have a special guest, Chris Glazier, who is our guest of the day. And he is a daily money manager and provides a lot of support for people who have trust. Some of you may know what that is, some of you don't, but he does the accountings, and you'll learn a little bit more about what he does too. So first, let's go ahead and we'll bring Steve McCullough in, and let's see. How about if we do this little intro first? I think we want to do this intro first. Well, there he is, and we're going to go ahead and hide that. And let's see, put him in the stream here. It's going to take a second because it takes 3 seconds. Oh, there we go. We're at 3. There you go.
There you are.
Good morning. It's been a couple weeks.
I missed you.
I know. We missed everyone. We were gone for a couple weeks. I was gone at a conference, and then I was gone at my beautiful niece's wedding in Minnesota, which was the most gorgeous day ever. And nice. So we played a few reruns, and we're back. We're back. So tell me, what kind of a caregiver question do you have for today?
So our caregiver question is, my dad's health has declined in the last year and is living in an assisted housing. The person doesn't think that the dad is getting the services that he needs and that he requires. They want to know what their options are.
Well, I usually like to start with getting the community on board and communicating. So we want to know what's happening there. I'll start by putting a care plan meeting together with all of their heads of department heads. And if they understand from there what they need and they are actually able to step up to the plate and offer the services, perhaps they are not able, they're not a facility who can provide a higher level of care. Maybe we need to look at a move. But I like to start there just so that if we can get everybody on board and they can kind of fix what's broken, then I think that's most opportune for the client. That's their home. And we want to have as few transfers as possible. That said, it may not be the right location, and we're putting them on alert. And we do need to give a 30-day notice to a community about a move. So then I think the family should go into full bore and start looking at other locations to potentially move their father. So that's kind of a long-winded answer for a short question, but it'll take a little bit of time to figure that out. But
yeah, definitely.
Putting the leaders together to figure out what they can do is important too.
Excellent.
Yeah,
good results.
For sure. So let's see. How about we go ahead and I'll drop you down, put you back in the green room, and we'll.
Sounds good. A lot of guests today.
We do. We have some fun stuff going on. So, all right. I'll see you later.
Have a great show.
Thanks. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll take a short little break, and I'm going to introduce Ginny to you from our office. Hold on. How are you? Oh, I still have her muted. I promise I pressed the button, but then it didn't unmute. But,
it's okay. Good morning.
Yeah, so everybody, you may have met Ginny on one of the programs way back, but Ginny is one of the key people over at About Senior Solutions, and she's our Director of Client Services. So if you call the office, you will more than likely get Ginny or maybe Diane on the phone. But Ginny will walk you through all the services that we have. And we have some really cool, fun, free stuff right now. So I wanted you to take an opportunity to share some of that. So how about I'll pull some of that up, and you can talk about it. I'm going to pull myself out, and then you can just talk.
Okay.
Okay.
So yes, when you guys call the office, when somebody calls the office, there's many resources that we can provide. And I do the intake when somebody asks for Mary directly or one of our gerontologists. I usually speak to them first and vet everybody out and see exactly where the call should go and who should handle the call. But one of our perks that we offer a lot of our clients or any of our people in our communities, board and care and assisted, it's called the Perk Daily, and Mary has it up on the screen. It's called Every Day You Get a Different Perk, and today is National TV Dinner Day. And when I brought that up, I was like, I was almost horrified that I would have to present that today because I did not grow up on TV dinners. My mom cooked every single meal, 7 days a week, 3 meals a day. So, but it was interesting to bring that up, and I wanted to give a little fun facts about it. And it was, they started in 1954. It's crazy that it's been that long. And they started in the aluminum tin foil bin or platters, and then they went to the plastic sooner or later. So just a couple of fun facts. They were called, an average person Americans eat 6 frozen meals per month. And then over time, the TV dinner became dropped and was named the frozen meals or microwave meals. And then they added desserts in 1960. Maybe that's why we all got a little heavier. And then it was put into the Smithsonian. The plastic plate was put in 1987 in the Smithsonian. So it's some interesting facts, but they also have the perk in history, what happened in 1794, and then what happened in, I think it's 1913. Then they always do a little fun fact. And then on the back side, they have a word search. So one of the activities, and I know Steve was saying, what do we do when somebody declines? Sometimes we come in and do activities for our clients, a lot of times, and to keep them active and do one-on-one life enhancement. So that is something we can read the perk to if somebody's not able to read and discuss it, and then flip the side and work on the word search. And the word search always associates with words according to the daily perk. So today would be all the word searches would be for the TV dinner. So it's a fun way. I send them out in the email. If somebody would like them, I can send you out. They send them to us a whole month in advance, and then you get a calendar so you can look at the calendar what the day is today. Today is obviously, it says the National TV Dinner Day, and then tomorrow's going to be Patriotic Day because of 9/11, and then just every day is different. So they're fun. KTLA, I noticed, was doing like a daily, yesterday they said Teddy Bear Day, and I looked at my perk and I was like, that is what it is. But I know they have different days, all different, many different things for different days, but maybe I'll send it to KTLA and we'll get on KTLA. That would be awesome. But so the perk is something we share with our families and our friends. If you're interested, let me know and I can send it out. It's really kind of an exciting, fun thing. I'll do it at my lunchtime too. So
it is fun. I know you too. I see people in the lunchroom.
Yeah.
I'm horrible at those things. I probably should be doing it just to force myself to think outside of those, where my brain usually goes. So yeah. I'm always impressed that you guys have work done. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. But yeah, and it's free, right, Ginny?
Yes, it's free. And like I said, I can send it out in an email and it comes for the whole month. So you can just print it off per day and print it off in color. And it has our logo at the top. So if anybody has any questions and you want to give it to somebody and they want to reach out to us, our information is at the top of the page. It's really fun.
All right. Well, Well, let's go ahead and announce our 100th birthday. The woman's name is Jeanette Swinson. Honestly, it's amazing. You are going to find this lady incredible. I only wish I could age like
No
this.
way.
So and guess who she's with? She's with her son. Not her husband.
No.
This is her son. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll drop you down. We'll talk to you at the very end of the show. But thank you so much for the perk information. And let's
Thanks,
talk a little bit about Jeanette and her birthday. I can't believe this. I mean, this beautiful lady is incredible, and she looks so young. Jeanette Swinson, who discovered her love for creating ceramic figurines late in life, will be 100 on September 24th. She's actually the day after my son, so that's kind of special. Reporter Lynn Haven sat down with her recently on the back porch of the home she shares with her son, who is pictured here, Wes Swinson, who also is a ceramist. And they host a huge annual backyard craft festival each December, so I hope that'll be happening this year. They talked about her life, her children, her art, and how she lives in the world. Lovely, lovely reflection on life. She says, I'm not dying yet. I love sitting here and watching the critters and the birds. I love working in the studio. I don't dwell on things, and I think that's super important. I don't live in the past, also very important. I just think of what a good life this is, and what a great lesson. And then Wes says, Mom has a happy heart. Jeanette is known for her pocket angel creations and was born, I'm not sure what that is. Maybe that's a little teeny ceramic angel. Maybe we can find out later. But she was born in 1921 in St. Paul, Minnesota, to Clara Bell and Henry Walker. She recalls when her family first got a telephone and a radio. You take it all for granted, she says. We were at the start of everything. She really was, if you think about it. During the Depression, Jeanette quit school her senior year to help care for her younger brother while her parents both worked. She learned to sew and make her own clothes. Relatives who were farmers supplied them with veggies to help get by. She recalls going to see the Capital steamer on the Mississippi River and hearing its calliope play across the distance to her home at night, which is so lovely. And I hope I look as fantastic. I think she looks 70, but she's just incredible. So happy, happy, happy birthday, Miss Swinson. And to Wes for having such a wonderful ceramic studio there. It's wonderful. So in any event, let's go ahead, and I think we should introduce our lovely Melinda Hughes, and she is going to talk a little bit about our nutrition segment, our fitness and nutrition segment. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see if we can.
Hello.
Hey. Oh, it's been a couple weeks. It's so good to see you again.
I know. So great to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah.
Here we are at the Strength Shop again.
Wonderful. Do you have a client right away, or?
Yeah, coming in about 15 minutes. So starting the day pretty early here. I've got my mask next to me, ready to go.
Right. Well, I was in the studio yesterday, actually, and I hadn't been because I was out of town, and I'm a little sore. It actually kind of felt good to have a little soreness, and I felt really good because I was still able to keep up the weight and kept my times up, so I felt pretty good about that, and I felt like, this is just helping me so much, so I'm so glad that you have the Strength Shop.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, when you're really consistent with the workouts like you are, then going away for 2 weeks is not a big deal. You kind of just get right back into it. Sometimes it's nice to have that little rest for your body, your mind, everything. So
yeah, for sure.
That's great.
For sure. So tell us about what kind of tidbit do you have for us today?
Well, I think your guest is going to talk about financial health and financial planning, and that's essentially financial planning, and I won't pretend to know anything about financial planning, but it's preventative. It's planning in advance, and we can do the same thing with our health. So The best care in health is preventative care, is really being on top of our screenings, being on top of all the things that we need to do for preventative, maintenance of our body. One of the interesting things about the field of nutrition is epigenetics. And I may have talked about epigenetics a little bit on here before, but it's epigenetics was first kind of coined and discovered or developed in the 1940s. So it's not new, but the power behind it is rapidly unfolding since about the 90s. But basically what epigenetics is we all have our DNA, and our cells replicate using our DNA as a blueprint. Epigenetics is the study of how our personal choices, our lifestyle choices, can turn that DNA on or off. So one of the coolest things that we can do for planning as we age, with our health, is to know our DNA, to know what's in our, if we don't actually go out and get a DNA test from a company like Nutrition Genome, there's many companies that do genetic testing for health and for nutrition. We can take a look at what our ancestors, what our genetic history is, and based on what our, parents and grandparents had issues with, we can preemptively, we can act as if, and preemptively incorporate some of those behaviors and lifestyle changes and dietary changes into our lifestyle before we are seeing any of that show up in our own health. So that's really, it's a way that we can plan in advance and kind of do like the financial planning as far as your health is concerned, is really look at what, you have the potential to, what your family history is, what your genetics are, and then maximize those. It's quite fascinating how different dietary choices, even exercise can positively impact your DNA and make you younger, slow down that aging process. And the aging process is what contributes to the development of disease. So we really do want to slow down that aging process, but just standing really slows down the aging process and positively affects our DNA. So
great advice.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Well, I have my standing desk, so I think I'm going to be more conscious about standing at my desk.
Yes.
Sometimes I sit, sometimes I really need to stand, but I'm going to be more focused on standing moving forward. So that's a great
It makes a huge difference.
Great
just standing,
Well,
going for a little walk around the neighborhood.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guest. And
Wonderful.
I will see you next week. If anybody has any questions for Melinda, go ahead and reach out to Jimmy at the office. Your caregiver questions, go ahead and reach out to us at 626-665-9. Oh, let's see. That's my cell phone number. I'm not going to get 359-0108. And I can see that Elise is watching and Suzette is watching, and I really appreciate it. And if you guys have questions, we will answer those questions for you too. So I'm going to go ahead and drop you back in the green room, and we're going to talk a little bit about our guest, Chris Fleischer. So thank
Wonderful.
you. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye. And yes, I definitely want to talk about Chris. He has a very unique role that he plays financially for families. And I'm going to put him on solo here and talk a little bit about him. Was able to see him at that conference I mentioned. It's called PFAC, or Professional Fiduciaries of California, and I know he's a member there. And Chris holds a certificate in fiduciary management from California State University, Fullerton. He is a daily money manager. That's something you probably are not familiar with as a term, but it's very interesting. He has a certificate from the American Association of Daily Money Managers and is a national certified guardian through the Center for Guardianship Certification. He understands the needs and requirements of family trust management. Attention to detail is required to manage a complex multi-account trust. And his experience working with high net worth trusts has allowed him to use the knowledge across the board with all levels of trust. So let's go ahead and bring our guest in, Chris, and we'll go ahead and talk a little bit face to face about what he does. So welcome.
Good morning, Mary.
Thank you so much for being on. I think,
thank you very much.
I think many of the terms that we're using to describe your just very kind of practical, very high-end knowledge to a role is very unfamiliar to people. So first off, maybe you can describe what a daily money manager is and does.
Basically, a daily money manager handles cash flow planning for seniors and for trust. So a lot of times they want to be the person in charge, but they don't want to write the checks or know where the money's going or how much money I need to live at assisted living, or how long can I keep this house or my other houses? I need money for kids or grandkids, all of those things. So it's basically operations of your life, of the money. So if there's a need, I'll bring in a financial planner or a realtor or a group like yourself, because I go through my checklist just like you do when you get a new client, where your healthcare directives, where your legal documents. So sometimes it's trusts where the kids are our age and they just don't want to handle the day-to-day activities of running the trust. They want somebody else to do that, but then they'll get the reports to be able to check to confirm that everything's well. Or at times they want to talk to mom as mom and daughter, but not mom as handling the money, and mom doesn't want to talk to them about all the things she's paying for in her daily life.
And she shouldn't have to either,
and she shouldn't
right?
have to.
It's kind of nice to have that confidence in you, just to say, they don't need to know that I'm planning a trip somewhere or that I spent extra on my creams or
No, or sometimes it's actually a widow or widower who have not been the ones handling the funds.
Right.
So it's the one that passed away that was doing that, and all of a sudden they're lost.
Right.
So in those cases, it's either training them and then doing like a maintenance, like once a month, to talk about how they're doing, and they're doing it on their own, which I have that with clients in state and out of state. So they still have all the power to write everything, but I'm able to check into their checkbook and their bank accounts and send them a monthly statement of, this is exactly what you spent. This looks good. Okay. So they like having somebody over their shoulder to make sure they're doing well. And they have the money. But the cash flow is more about how long can you live at what your current lifestyle is.
Sure.
Or do you need to make changes? Sometimes realtors bring me in when they run into a senior that needs to sell a house and they realize it's a mess and it's unorganized on the financials, and the person just needs some assistance getting it all straight. And what do they do with these extra funds?
Right. I'm going to just drag in one of the diagrams that I love using when we plan to. And you bring up such a great point. And we don't do the financial. We just need somebody like you to tell us what the budget is. So it does really become this wonderful team collaborative. But you see that it's really important for us to know what the wishes are of your client. Make sure that we know that we're keeping them safe, and that's kind of our little area. And then your area is the finances, and being able to know this is what we need to liquidate, or she's fine for X number of years, and we can work through calculations with that if she stays in this location versus that location, or stays home. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, I love creating that teamwork. But so aside from the daily money management, there are other things that you take responsibility for, and there's some really significant trust that you're managing too.
Yeah, no, and that's you build up that over time with people, and because in this business, really people want to know who you are and that you're not somebody. Because fraud prevention is another key role I do, because I'll go through the credit card statements, and they'll spend whatever they want, and then I'll download the American Express or the Visa, and I'll go through, and if there's something I don't understand, I'll check. Or if they're donating to a charity, I'll go back online and check, is that a relatively good charity? Because there are some charities that are listed and they come and go. Wounded Warriors for a while was ranked really poor. They made major changes, and now they're in a great organization to give to. ASPCA just came up recently. National Police Association is one I just ran into just now, and I found articles all about that. So you've got to be really careful. So I'm always double checking that for my clients, because I've had some clients that have had some fraud issues. And unfortunately, even my mom has gotten calls. She's 87 years old.
Yeah.
She said, "Hey, did you order me a laptop? Somebody called and I need to pay postage."
And I'm telling you, some of these scams they're so realistic, and I don't care how old you are. But the more challenge you may have, or the heart that you have to give, people can really take advantage. So I'm glad you're looking out for them, for sure.
So, and it's confusing even for us on a daily basis. I know we all do the same thing. Did I order a FedEx package? Why did I get this email? We've all gotten those, and it's like, oh, you delete those. But that's just that side of protecting them. And with the high net worth trust, it's handling, you know, payments to the grandkids' colleges, if it's NYU or wherever else the family has decided, or handling their properties, if it's their ski lodge or their beach thing. But also bringing in lawyers, because sometimes I've found clients where there are no health directives or wills. And like, okay, let's get that in. And then in some cases, it's almost a pro bono case that neighbor was helping. And so I found we all have enough friends in our toolbook that'll help out pro bono on a limited basis to assist people to say, here's what you can do for yourselves. So I've got neighbors helping neighbors with advice on how to help their neighbors, and they're doing great. So then they'll bring me in as alternate power of attorney after a neighbor, in case the neighbor passes away, or executor after a neighbor, just in case something happens to the neighbor, which nobody's expecting anything to happen. But so providing that guidance on where you can go, who you can get in contact with, and then saying, what's the money? You know, that's the critical. At this point in our life, we're all looking at, there's no more income than what we have. And it's what other assets we have. In some cases, it's been a senior who is property rich and cash poor.
Oh, for sure.
And then other times it's going through all their their financial documents, and you'll find a whole nother, what's this John Hancock? Or what's this other Merrill Lynch? Then you'll say, oh, you've got other funds over here that they didn't know about.
Oh, I'm telling you, when you organize that, and that's fantastic that you do that. But we have clients who think they have a long-term care insurance policy and don't, or vice versa, and then we're never able to use it, which is tragic. Or the long-term care and life insurance, I think, are the big things that get forgotten and unidentified, and it can be terrible to not have those.
Well, the worst part of that is not knowing but also missed payments, because so many times long-term care is looking for any reason to cancel you. And so I've had a client where she missed several payments, and by the time I came along, we had trouble getting it reactivated.
Wow.
Because she had missed the payments. And that's when the family brought me in and said, Chris, we need you. And in that case, they said, you know, we had a bookkeeper, but we need a more holistic approach, not just entering it in. So working with the accountants, I have several that I use, or if a client has their own, we'll continue with that. And along with banks and bankers, knowing that you can walk in and talk to the banker once they have your trust. But, you know, you've still got the taxes, and then following up, did you get the refunds? I had a client, we applied in April for the normal taxes. His refund just came in yesterday. Wow. So the whole tax system is just very slow. Or I had another client, she threw away the $25,000 rebate from California. And she said, Chris, can you help me get that back? But she didn't want her kids to know that she accidentally threw away the refund check. So that confidentiality, and say, yeah, we can take care of that. We can work on that.
That's so great. You know, I'm going to put your contact information up. This is your email. But tell us, actually, let us know, because somebody may be just listening to the program versus seeing this scroll. Tell people how to get a hold of you, Chris.
So you can call me at my phone number, 626-497-2081. Or it's Chris at active, ACTIV, no E, TM.com. So AC, active, no E, TM, standing for Active Trust Management, even though a lot of what I'm really doing is trust operations.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So it's more operations, because I'm managing it with the trustee, and that could be the daughter or the co-trustees. I've got a meeting next week with a whole family where they're all co-trustees, so we can talk about all their new properties they've acquired for their investments. And they just basically, they're running their lives, paying their own personal bills, but they don't want to deal with the daily or the monthly or the annual income coming from these properties, because that they want to have time in their life. Yeah. And so if I'm handling those parts for them, then they don't have to deal with that. And I send it straight with great relationships with their accountant, because he actually said, no, call Chris. He can take care of all that for you. And this is a really good accountant over on Wilshire Boulevard.
Mm.
So that type of trust that builds up just saying this is how you do it. But it's Chris at activetrustmanagement.com or activtm.com is my website.
Nice. Oh, great. So we can look you up. I only gave a very brief background on you. You have a pretty incredible background.
Yeah, I have an MBA, so I did mergers and acquisitions for the energy companies. So I was doing international mergers in London and Pakistan and Greece and Athens and Colombia and Mexico City, all over the world. For back when the heyday, we were competing against Enron. We were actually a block in Houston down from that. So that was back in the old lifetime, another time, taking private jets and all that major stuff you see about 100, all that type of stuff. So that background in detail and finance and project management has brought me to where I am today to bring that same detail and level of input for individuals.
Yeah, a little credit card's no big deal for you. You can negotiate that one pretty easy, I think.
Yes.
Fantastic. Anything else you think that we should know about you?
No, I'm available anytime. That's why I like doing this job, because I always find it when you can take the stress and the worry out of a client's mind, and say, okay, we've got this. This is one part of my life I don't have to worry about, or I feel comfortable that it's being handled and that security net is there, that somebody's looking over it. And that's where I handle that part. So then Mary, you and your group with About Senior Solutions handles the whole other part of their body and the care and all of that, that I can. I deal with the dollars and the numbers, all digital. And that together, that makes a perfect person really enjoy their life.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. We're talking with Chris Glacier with Active Trust Management. And you can, I guess, use that word as the fact that you can trust, you're licensed, and that is something I think that people should know. I mean, you do have a certain criteria, you have a certain licensure or
well, we're all insured in bond, and then even with the credentials, you've got to have background checks and be recertified and can take continuing education hours. And that's why I was at the PFAC in San Diego, where I saw you. Was because of the classes there with lawyers and judges and everybody talking about what the pitfalls are, and all of those CE continuing education units continue to keep our credentials current. And even then, when you reapply, you've got to go back through another background check, which is great. It just gives you that level that yes, these are people that are doing the right things.
And I think it's so important to just always stay in a position of learning and current and understanding the new scams that are out and the new issues we need to think about and upcoming laws. And so not everybody drills into that level of knowledge too. So I thank you for what you do. And if you need to get a hold of Chris, I'll just go ahead and really quickly here, go ahead and share your email again. And what are you going to do for the weekend? Anything?
Actually, I'm heading out. I'm actually leaving tonight on a dive boat. I am a volunteer scientific diver with Reef Check, and we'll be surveying the kelp forests. I've done that for years. I'm on their board as foundation, the Reef Check Foundation out of Marina del Rey.
Neat.
So my charity work, but I also volunteer with USC Wrigley at times as a scientific diver, helping over there. Working with students. So I love scuba diving in the ocean. So I'll be out all day Saturday off of Catalina diving, doing surveys of the kelp forest. I've been out with Fish and Wildlife Department and others doing that. But it's only when I could fit in the time, and there's a lot of that stuff over the past years. So this weekend I'll be out in the water, and it should be great and nice and cool.
Wonderful. Well, great. Thank you so much for coming on, and we hope to see you another time.
Thank you for inviting me, Mary. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll go ahead and say goodbye to Chris for now. And I think we'll go ahead and bring the team back up really quick here. We'll bring Steve back, and we'll bring, let's see if Melinda's still with us or not. We'll bring Jimmy back. We'll bring, let's see, there we go, unmute. And we have, I think that Melinda left because she has another
She's a client.
she's seeing, because she's busy working. And
He's working.
yeah, everybody's got to work. We're all working. Trust me, we'll be hitting the pavement very hard just as soon as we get off the program. So in any event, thank you all for viewing. Anybody, any special plans for the weekend for you guys, or?
Birthday weekend.
It's your birthday?
Tomorrow.
Ah! Happy birthday. Oh, we got
Thank you.
So, Jenny, how about you? Are you doing anything special?
Yeah, September is crazy birthday month. So we're celebrating birthdays. Mine's next Saturday. So happy birthday, Steve.
Happy early birthday.
So we're celebrating some friends' birthdays this weekend and family and and I'm hitting the beach finally after about a month. So yeah.
Okay, right. All right, everyone. Well, we'll see you next week, and thank you so much for all your effort and for taking
Great
care of
show.
our
Thanks, Mary. Great job.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.